All right, good morning. So I'm actually packing up quite a bit later than I expected. I think it's almost 8 o'clock. And that's just because the weather doesn't look that great. So I was just kind of lying there thinking, well, I kind of wish it was sunny, but it's not bad. It hasn't been raining this morning. I keep expecting it to rain, but it's just cloudy and kind of misty or foggy. I think, well, basically I'm in the clouds, and I know that whatever's coming up ahead is supposed to be nice views, like fairly soon, like probably in a few miles. And it'd be a shame if I'm just in the clouds. So I was kind of hoping it was going to clear up. But yeah, I think also all the moisture in the air is making it a bit colder. I feel quite a lot colder than usual this morning. I think also all my stuff is a bit damp from getting rained on yesterday. I was totally warm in the night for sure. I was really warm, but actually getting up and getting out of my sleeping bag feels quite cold. I think it's just the moisture in the air, but I'll show you my tarp setup. All right, so here's my tarp setup. So I just got this little stick here, and then got all my stuff set up down there. And I showed you last night it was raining, and it rained for, I don't know, at least a couple hours, because I definitely fell asleep and it was still raining, and I remember it was raining in the night a little bit, so I stayed completely dry. So it's tied onto this tree here and then just pegged out everywhere else. So I don't know how well you can see, but it's just like grey clouds, but it's also just kind of misty and foggy, like the clouds are kind of pretty much at this level, and I'm like almost down in the valley. So I'm hoping maybe when I get some elevation gain, it would be cool if I actually pop up out of the clouds, because I'm definitely going above 12,000 feet today. So potentially I could be above these clouds. I don't know, because right now I'm at like 11,000 feet. Guess we'll find out. I'm going to pack up now. As you can see, I'm really in the clouds now. It's very misty or foggy. It's kind of cool. But hopefully I get some views when I get up there. Be a shame to miss out on the nice views. So with the location that I'm currently at, the app that I use, it's called Far Out for navigation. It currently, well, it labels this location as spectacular views, which is really rare. Normally it doesn't say anything on the app, even if there are nice views. But yeah, it says spectacular views for this point right here. But unfortunately, I'm still kind of just in the clouds. As you can see, this view over here is mostly just obscured. So yeah, I mean, this is why I was reluctant to get up this morning. You know, I woke up and I looked outside and it was just like in the clouds. I figured maybe I could get above the clouds, but that's not the situation. I figured, you know, later in the day, the wind usually picks up a little bit, and that's more likely to get the clouds moving a bit, because there's basically no wind, even though I'm right on a pass right now. And yeah, there's only a light breeze. But it's actually clearing up in the other direction. So let me show you this view here. So we got a bit of a view going on this side, but it's still, I think, mostly obscured. But it's all right. I've had lots of nice views on this trip already. And I am hopeful that it's going to clear up a bit more later today, but we'll see. I think there's going to be nice views basically for the next like 15 miles, or well, maybe like 12 miles now or something, where I'm kind of in these exposed areas above the tree line. But we'll see. You know, I should be grateful that it's not raining. I'm lucky it's not raining, and it's also not really windy, because, well, if it was windy I'd probably have nice views maybe, but yeah, the rain and wind can be pretty rough out here. So right now it's actually nice and peaceful and easy hiking, so yeah. Lots of nice flowers here. And this is the view currently. So it is a nice view actually. And it's kind of cool with the clouds. But I think if it clears up a bit more, there'll be more mountains in the background as well, but we'll see. And you know, I should say, like, I think I've said this multiple times, but I've been very lucky with the weather. I was expecting on this hiking trip to experience a lot of rain, and yeah, I think, I mean, if I hadn't spent that time in Lake City and also at the Butterfly House, you know, 2 days ago, I guess, I would have gotten rained on a lot more. I got rained on a decent amount yesterday, but only for about half an hour before I set up camp. So really not that bad. I think a lot of hikers have experienced a lot more rain than I have. And also, you know, the people that were here, like I mentioned a couple weeks ago, were experiencing snow, and some of the hikers were like, you know, waking up to like, you know, a foot of fresh snow. So yeah, I mean, I've been really lucky. Well, also, like I was talking about yesterday, just it's kind of on purpose. I wanted to mention, just adding on to what I was saying yesterday, there's a YouTuber that you could look up if you don't know already, called Becca Little Skittles. And Becca Little Skittles is, yeah, also through hiking the CDT, and she just started a lot earlier than I did. She started, I don't know, some point in April, whereas I started May 10th. And if you look at her videos when she's in Colorado, I think if you look at like, it's probably around day 30, maybe she enters Colorado day 27 or something like that, I'm not sure. But if you look at like the days which are like late 20s, early 30s, those days, you'll see, I mean, she's constantly all layered up with like lots of layers. It looks cold. There's tons of snow everywhere. She's post-holing in snow, and then she's getting to points where it's becoming dangerous because like big storms are coming in, and then she has to like bail out off of the trail. And then I think she even, I haven't watched all her videos, but I'm pretty sure she ended up walking on forest roads instead of walking on the trail, and just like skipping some beautiful scenery just because it was kind of too dangerous to be there. So she was walking on roads, you know, like dirt roads at the lower elevation through the valleys to avoid the snow. I'm pretty sure I saw a video where she was doing that. I haven't watched all her videos, so I don't know the exact route that she took, but I know that a lot of people that were here earlier were really missing out. Like I said yesterday, I know I'm repeating myself, but it really is an important point because it completely changes the entire experience of the through hike. The people that were here weeks before me just had an entirely different experience, and really most hikers are ahead of me. Like almost everyone is ahead of me. I know the bubble is ahead of me. You know, they call it the bubble, it's just like, you know, where the majority of hikers have kind of clustered up in one area. But everywhere I go, you know, even at the butterfly house, I got there and there were only 2 people there, and they weren't even CDT through hikers. They were just out here on like a 10-day trip. And then, you know, 2 through hikers showed up the next day. But like, you know, the place was basically empty. If it wasn't for the fact that like the owner invited all the neighbors round, you know, the place would have been really quiet and empty, which is nice. It's really nice socializing with just like a handful of people rather than getting to a hostel and, you know, every nice seat on the sofa is taken and is constantly loud because you got like 20 people in the hostel. Instead, I've been experiencing just like 3 or 4 people in the hostel, like when I was in Lake City with just Boomerang, Send It, Machine, you know, like, yeah, I'm really happy with the way it's working out, but I know that the people ahead of me get to towns and it's like 20 people, you know, just completely different experience. Places will be booked up and full, and like, I don't know, I'm really happy with my decisions on starting late, making this trail feel a bit more solitude, well, a bit more isolated, a bit more solitary, probably a bit more what this trail would be like if you did it a few years ago, as it increases in popularity every year. And yeah, anyway, I'm kind of rambling, but I just want to make sure that people understand, because that's a very important point. It does make a very, very big difference to your experience. So anyone watching these videos thinking about doing the CDT, my recommendation is starting late. Obviously, I had to deal with the fact that forest fires closed a lot of northern New Mexico, but you had to start really early to miss those forest fires. You had to start early enough that you were just going in insane snow conditions here. So yeah, anyway, really lucky. I've also been lucky with not getting that much, like in terms of thunderstorms. I have a feeling I might get some serious thunderstorms today. We'll see. I don't really know what the forecast is too much. Well, I don't know. I think there's going to be scattered thunderstorms, but I've been pretty lucky, you know, not getting much of that. Alright, so it is starting to rain, so I think I'm going to put the camera away. But before I put it away, there is actually a pretty nice view here, so I'll show you the view, and then camera might be away for a bit because the clouds look pretty ominous and I don't want to wreck the camera, so yeah. But the views are actually getting really nice, and I think potentially, you know, if I had gotten up earlier, I would have missed these views. I don't know. I mean, maybe not, but I have a feeling I would have, because it seems to be not clearing up, but I think the clouds are lifting to a higher elevation. Although the clouds are still dark and a little rainy, I do think, you know, early in the morning they'd kind of settled a bit lower, and now they're getting higher up above the mountains, which is good. But yeah, let me show you the view. Alright, so surprise, surprise, it is raining. I've been here for a long time now, actually. It's been raining for 8 hours non-stop. Um, hasn't stopped for like not even a minute. I think it's just been raining constantly for about 8 hours now. So I think it was about time for that. I think I'd been talking too much about how lucky I'd been with the weather, how great it had been, and yeah, I knew it was time eventually that I would run into some rain. So yeah, it had to happen eventually. But yeah, so I hiked for a while in the rain. I mean, not like crazy long, but it was heavy rain for a while. Um, Heavy rain, and then hail, and then it changed to snow actually, and it was probably the worst kind of snow you could get because it wasn't real snow. It was like wet snow or sleet, I guess, kind of just slushy. So it was close to freezing temperatures, but not cold enough for it to properly snow. So the ground was getting all like kind of slushy, but also, you know, see if it's a little bit colder, you get like fluffy real snow, and then you don't get as soaked. Whereas with this like slushy, wet snow, I was getting soaked, and it was also, as cold as the rain could get, essentially. So, anyway, my feet turned to like blocks of ice, and yeah, I was just getting quite cold. I was okay as long as I was moving, I was all right. But the thunder came in, and the thunder was really loud and like right above me, and visibility was very low, and I was like, okay, well, for a while I'm going to be above the tree line, and I'm going to be in areas which are like obviously you're not supposed to be in a thunderstorm, like up on these ridge lines. And a lot of this, see, I'm on the Collegiate West route, which is supposed to be the scenic route, um, and it's supposed to be the high route. So some of the mountain passes are like 13,000 feet, maybe, or like almost 13,000, like 12,800 feet or something. Um, so pretty high up, and not really somewhere you should be during thunderstorms. And like I said, most of this area is exposed, but I ended up dropping just very temporarily down into the tree line, but like only just touching the tree line really. And I found a nice place to camp. I figured after this it's going to be all exposed, and I set up camp early, like 2:30 or something, just because I was cold. And yeah, I mean, with the thunder, it just seemed dangerous. It just didn't seem like it didn't seem wise to keep hiking. Like I probably could keep going until I get past the exposed area and go down to lower elevation a bit later, but I don't know, it's freezing cold. It took a while for me to warm up. I set up camp and then got in my sleeping bag, ate a lot of food, um, and then I warmed up and I'm fine now. But yeah, I think I made the right decision. Also, it means that hopefully the weather will be a bit better tomorrow, and I'll actually get some views because this is supposed to be the scenic route. Like I could have just taken a different route. Even on this Collegiate West, there's an alternate which stays at lower elevation, more like 10,000 or 11,000 feet. And I could have just taken that instead, honestly. Like, if I'm going to be missing out on the views, I'm just going to be soaking wet, and it's going to be like borderline snowing. Um, yeah, anyway, whatever. I'm having a nice, relaxing time under my top. Pretty bored now, though. I've been here for a while. Um, Hopefully I sleep well tonight, given the fact that I've been lying here for quite a few hours already. But yeah, hopefully the weather's better tomorrow, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.